Okay, so this is section 4.2, day 2 video, and it's just going to review graphing a quadratic. There's two different methods. Remember a quadratic, right? If you can't remember what that is, see if you can remember. It doesn't mean 4, it actually means 2 in this case. So it's an equation with an x squared, and there's two different ways to graph it. Then we're going to do some kind of real world problems where we find points of interest. And then this last one, let's be honest, I don't know any hilarious jokes. We'll strike that one from video. I'm sorry. Look up Jerry Seinfeld on YouTube or something. You want to see something funny. All right. So normally in class I have students just kind of do this as a quiz, but basically to know how to graph, there's two different ways, and it's very very different. But both of these are on the test. So pause the video, see what you can do on these, and then check your answers by unpausing. Okay, so on the left, this is called the vertex form, and it gets its name because the vertex is actually right there. It's just a little bit goofy where the h part is actually a -2, um, which means our vertex is at -2 and 3, but I don't even bother remembering that. I just think this shifts us left 2 and up 3, and that's how I get the vertex, right? When a transformation stuff, that makes it go left and up. All the 5 does is stretch it, so it's going to be going up a little bit faster than a normal parabola shape. So we're just going to draw it stretched as much as we can right there. And that's it. Vertex forward is pretty quick to graph. Standard is a little bit trickier. Okay, so in standard we want to get this vertex point, but it's not as easy as just shifting it around. So on this one we got to use this handy little formula, which is -b/2a. So here's our b is 4, so we do the opposite of that over 2 times a, which is -1. A is whatever in front of the x squared. Here's a and b. Okay, and then all that cleans up to be 2. -4 divided by -2 is 2. Okay, so our vertex is at x, 2, and y something, right? And to figure out the y part, we just plug it in. So we're going to put in 2 for x into the original equation. Okay, and then the tricky part about this is make sure you square this first. So you got to do 2 squared, which is 4, and then take that times -1. So make sure you do the exponent first. 4 times 2 is just 8. Okay, and now we do add, subtract last. So this would be 1, I believe. 4 plus 4 minus 3 would be 1. All right, so we're at 2 and 1 is our vertex. All right, so to get the rest of the graph, I always draw my axis of symmetry right now because I know I'm going to have a parabola that's going to match on the same side. And then to get the rest of the points, I just use this last number is our y-intercept, just like it was in the linear world. So I can draw that point there and then reflect it across the axis of symmetry because it's the same on both sides. Now just connect those dots and draw the graph. I'm sorry, I cannot draw very well. This stupid program thing, zoom, zoom. Well, it's about the best you're going to get. Sorry. All right, so that is two different ways, very, very different, but vertex and standard, both of those will be on the next test. The rest of this lesson is just going to be finding points of interest. And so this comes from when you have a parabola shape, many things in real life actually follow the path of a parabola. Like if you throw a ball through the air, shoot a basketball, hit a golf ball, they all follow this parabola path, right? And so we can find sort of different things about the path of the flight of an object. Okay, so here's going to be our first one, and it's going to be a baseball. And so let's say it's been hit. Like sometimes if you ever go to a Twins game or a good baseball team's game or whatever, when they launch a home run out into the stands here or whatever, they can immediately tell you like how far it flew. And I always wonder that because the parabola doesn't hit the ground, like the baseball never hits the ground. So I'm guessing they're using some math to continue out the parabola to figure out how far it actually travels, how far that home run goes, right? Because it hits the stands, and then they're gonna have to, extrapolate from there to figure out how far it goes. At any rate, we want to know in this case, in our problem, we want to know how high the baseball goes if we have height and time as our function. Okay, so just to make some sense of this, here's time, here's the height. So as time changes, the height changes, and so it's going to fly like this, and then eventually come back down to a height of 0. We want to know what is the max height, right? So really, this question is what, right? What are they asking here? And hopefully you know it's just find the vertex, right? So this is going to be the time t it takes to get to the max height h. So basically it's just a find the vertex question, right? So it's going to be the same as always where we're in standard form. It looks a little bit different. So maybe if we really want to write it the correct way, we'd put the squared part first. And that is important because you got to get a and b right here. Okay, so in our little formula, even though technically it's t, not x, I'm just going to use x. But at any rate, I'm going to do the opposite of b, so negative 48 over 2a. And again, a is what's in front of the squared part. So negative 16 is a and 48 is b. All right, so we have negative 48 over negative 32, and I believe that's going to be 1.5. It tells us basically it'll reach a max height after 1.5 seconds, right? And then to find that height, we just plug it into the little formula. So you can use either one. I guess go way back to the beginning one. 48 times 1.5 minus 16 times 1.5 squared plus 5. Okay, and then we just got to crunch away. So multiply those together. I believe that's 62, I think. 72. Maybe 72 would be a better answer there. Okay, and then here we've got to square the 1.5 first and then take that times square first, which is 2.25 times 16 gives us, sorry, I had to just do it, 36. All right, and then plus 5. And so our height should be 36 plus 5, 41. And so that is our max height. So after 1.5 seconds, we hit a height of 41 feet. And that's sort of our answer. Okay, one more example like this for you. All right, this one is profit of a stock. And so it looks like the profit changes over the days. So we have days in profit. All right, instead of x and y. And again, because this is a negative squared one, it's going to look like this again. So profit might be going up for a while, but then it dives back down. All right, what is the maximum price? So again, pause to see if you can make sense before watching the answer. Okay, so your max price is going to be right here. So we're going to find the vertex, and we specifically want the y part of the vertex. Okay, so it's the same as always. We're going to do negative b, so negative 50 over 2 times negative 6. Sorry, negative 3. That'll give us negative 50 over negative 6, which is 8 1/3. Okay, and then plug it in to find, so that's the days. So our days is 8.3 repeating, and then plug that in to find the max profit. So negative 3 times 8.3 repeating squared plus 50 times 8.3 repeating. Okay, so I'm just going to pound away on my calculator here. All right, make sure you square it first, then take it times negative 3, and you should get negative 208. Multiply these, about 416, and then add those together, and we get positive 208.33. So that looks like the max amount of price per share. I don't know if I said profit earlier, but I misspoke. It looks like that's the price per share of the stock. So the highest it ever gets is to be 208.3, and then it comes crashing back down. All right, hope that makes sense. That's it for 4.2 day 2. The big thing is to know how to do find the vertex, obviously, and then know how to do the 2 graph methods that were reviewed earlier in the video. All right, take care.